Well, hey, there's ordinary mommy of two. How are you? Trailer Laura Ruby. How are you doing? Is Tatiana? Hello, Tatiana. Hey, just be real. Thank you so much. I'm just waiting for the restream to come on. Thank you so much for being here, Jay White. Who's that? Eva, Jay White. Just be real. Ordinary mommy. How are you doing? So good to see you. Hi, Sunshine. Hi, Camellia. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Jules, how are you doing? Thank you. Hey, Courtney, how are you doing? So good to see you guys. Hello, and thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Come on in, come on in. Hey, Tanisha Victorious Burnett. What a powerful name. That's what I'm talking about. How are you guys? Tamarind, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hey, Miss Shirley, how you doing? Is that NECA? I don't want to mess it up. NECA, how are you doing? Hello. Hey, Jay. Is it Jamie? Hi, Jamie. How are you doing? Is that Robin? Robin Elizabeth, how are you? Thank you so much for being. Hey, Thomas Grant, how are you doing? Hey, Catalin, how are you? Caitlin, I'm sorry. Caitlin, how are you? Thank you. Hey, Carol, Derek, Chaya from India. Oh, okay, Namaste. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Hey, Darlene, how are you doing? From Guam. Hafa Adai from Guam. Okay. Aliska, how are you? Hello, James. How are you doing? Vivian, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Beautiful lady, how are you doing? Hello, hello. Well, I'm glad you're back, Trailer Ruby. There we go. Hey there, William. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I know this light is real bright. I know over on Instagram is not as bright. I have to put my head down so it doesn't reflect in my glasses. But over here is like super bright. I look transparent over here, and this light is not even that bright. North Carolina, okay. Hi, Tiana. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to be long tonight, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Hi, Kelly. How are you? For South Australia. Okay. Okay, I see you. Hey there from down under. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Kelly. Thank you. Paula. Hello, Paula. Treon. Hello, Atlanta. Hey, I'm gonna be in Atlanta on July 30th. Hopefully you be able to join me. Hi, Rebecca from Texas. Hopefully you'll be able to join us. We will be in Atlanta on July 30th. Hey, Deborah, how are you? Hi, Natasha. Thank you so much for being here. Well, thank you guys. So I'm not going to be on long tonight. Hey, Aaron from North Carolina. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Patrice, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay, Shanae from New Mexico. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see what we got over here. How are you? Well, hey, to you too. New Mexico. Shanae from New Mexico. Okay, hola. All right. Texas. All right, Destiny, Texas. I was in Texas last year. I was in Dallas. I did a conference in Dallas. Virginia. Hey, Sunshine, Virginia. What part of Virginia are you in? I was stationed in Fort Lee, Virginia. How are you doing, Sunshine? Oh, Paula, I think it was. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I'm just giving you guys a few more minutes to get you guys in here. Hey, C. Bryant, how are you? Dallas. Okay. Hey, Dallas. I was in Dallas last year for the conference. Too bad you couldn't make it out. Well, too bad you may not have known about me at the time, but hopefully you get to come and see me. I'll be in Atlanta this year and Los Angeles, California next year. Illinois. Hi, Nikita. In Dallas, Roanoke. Okay. I was in Fort Lee, Virginia. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Hola to you too. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? Hold on. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? How are you, Aaron? How are you? North Carolina, Central Florida. Okay, Alicia, Philly. Okay, got Philly in the house. In the Bahamas. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Let's take a cruise and go to the Bahamas. I don't mind, girl. We can get some people. Just send me some information. Let's find out how to get a cruise going to come over into the Bahamas and do a conference. I'm willing. Just have to have a bunch of people coming with us. Sacramento. Okay, I see you. All right. Oh, you have to go to Los Angeles to see me? Oh, well, come to Atlanta. I'll be in Atlanta on July 30th. Bien usted? Okay, good. How are you? Oh, thank you. Hawaii. Okay, Jamie, you're gonna be in Hawaii. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Philadelphia in the house. Let's go. Devin said, let's go. All right. So, so I'm not gonna be long tonight because of the fact that I'm working on the Sonia Orlando. Okay, because I'm working on the um, coaching course, which will also be a course. Um, and what I'm doing is I'm putting together for those of you that are wanting to be coaches but specialize in narcissist abuse recovery. I'm putting together a program, not just for you, but also for those that need continuing education. I'm going to put that. I'm going to put in a proposal for college credits, continuing education certification for this part that I'm creating. I'm also working on a coaching program. So you guys just got to be patient with me because, of course, you know all that costs money. So I need help. So I'm working on creating a coaching program and a specialization in narcissist recovery, so that many of you will have the opportunity to get certified. Because as you know, right now, coaching is not regulated. But I want you to prepare yourself because it's going to get to a point where they're going to start regulating coaching. And the reason why I said that is there's too many people that are operating as a coach, but they're crossing boundaries into therapy, counseling. You're crossing boundaries. And those of us that are in the mental health, social work, psychiatry, psychology in that field, in the medical field, understand number one, there's a lot of liability that goes along with that. People are giving out diagnoses that are not qualified to give out diagnoses. We can't even give out a diagnosis just talking to you concerning your the person that you were entangled with as a narcissist. We just go by what you tell us, but we can't say definitively that that person is a narcissist. And these are educational purpose. You know, the videos that we do are for educational purposes. But there are a lot of people that are crossing boundaries. And so what I'm going to do, I'm working on, is create a coaching program and then create a specialization on narcissist abuse recovery, which will give those of you a good foundation. So when you're giving information, whether you're creating, you know, educational programs, classes, courses, whether you're coaching people, you know, you're not giving them information based off of what you think and based off of Googling the information. What I'm putting together is rooted in research. So there's research journals that I'm using to provide you with a solid foundation of narcissistic personality disorder. You know, the difference between narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. You know how you know certain things came about, how the DSM-5 came about. You know, certain things, the etiology. Well, we're not going to talk about the okay, I know the word, but you know, to help you understand certain things. Now, this course happens to be I don't know whether I want to shorten it or not, but it's going to be an 18-week course. So it's going to have a lot of modules in there, you know, and for like I said, I'm trying to get it uh, ex, uh, I'm trying to propose, you know, college courses, so it'll be a certification of specialization. And so I'm creating the coaching program. I'm creating the specialization so that when you guys take this course, you can be certified as a coach, and then you will also have an identifier letting them know that you have been educated on narcissistic personality disorder and abuse. And so that is what I'm working on. So it's taking a lot of focus, it's taking a lot of concentration. So I'm glad you guys are being patient with me. Thank you so much, because it does require a lot of research. And so the information that you're being provided is not just from the top of my head, it's not just from Googling. You know, Google is not always good. When you Google stuff, a lot of times you see people's opinions. But when you come from research, you know, a lot of people that are in the mental health field, medical fields, you know, they want you to validate what you're presenting to people and providing it. And I want you guys to have, if you're going to specialize in it, I want you to have a good foundation. I want you to have a good background on what you're talking about. so that, people can see your credentials and they see that you're qualified, not just qualified, but you're certified, you're qualified, and you've gotten information. And so I'm working on that now. So a lot of you have been asking me about it. So, it takes a little while to put all that together because it requires a lot of research. So I'm putting in the work so you guys, when you get this information, when it's offered to you, what probably will happen first is that you'll probably get the courses if you want to take the courses. And along with that, I'm creating a book that goes along with the course. So you guys just, be patient with me. I'm working on it. And so, will it be, will it only be a coach certification or in narcissism or more? It will be, what I'm working on is getting the certification as a coach and then doing a specialization in narcissistic personality. So narcissism is just an adjective to describe a behavior. But what I'm talking about is narcissistic personality disorder. And that's what we talk about on these channels is a person that has narcissistic personality disorder and their behavior. Narcissism is an adjective to describe a behavior. A lot of people have narcissism, which just means they have narcissistic traits or narcissistic behavior. That does not necessarily mean that they have NPD. That doesn't mean that they have the disorder. So do know that, okay? Do know that. Good evening, Sharima. How are you? So let's see. Well, thank you so much, Ordinary Mommy. Thank you so much. It's really, I really enjoy what I do. And, by watching other content creators, watching other people when they're talking about it, a lot of times when I'm listening to it, especially as a professional, and some of you are actually in the psychology, psychiatry, mental health, medical field, and a lot of times when you hear information, sometimes that information is not good information, is not correct. And people will argue you down that it is correct because they heard it and they read it on Google. But if you're going to quote something or if you're going to tell somebody something, make sure that when you give that information out, that it is research information, information that comes from valid places, valid places, research information. So that is something that I want to offer. I really enjoyed the research part. It just takes a long time to put classes together when especially you're using research to provide people with information. And so I'm really excited about it. And I'm looking forward for you guys enrolling in this. And then in order to maintain your certification, of course, one of the things I would like to do is also provide whenever you come back to recertify annually, that I will provide, even though you're not in the mental health field, but basically continue education or education to keep you abreast on what is changing, what has been said, about narcissistic personality disorder. So, and those of you that are advocates, those of you that are domestic violence advocates, those of you that are legal advocates, those of you that work in that helping field, I want you to have this information. So let's go to our topic and let me turn on Clubhouse. So those of you who are here for the very first time, thank you so much, Ms. Brenda. So those of you that are here for the very first time, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dr. Carmen Bryant. I am the host of Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I am a licensed mental health counselor here in the state of Washington. I am also a certified clinical trauma professional. It just so happened that even though I have a private practice and I do individual counseling for people, one of my passions really is working with victims and survivors of domestic violence, specifically those that have been abused by those that have narcissistic personality disorder, or in case have narcissistic behaviors or tendencies. And there is a difference. One is very persistent and they're very, very consistent, persistent in their behavior patterns. That's why a lot of you say, they all seem like they're reading from the same playbook because they have the same disorder. And the behavior is very persistent. Even though you're dealing with individual people, the behavior is very persistent. A person that has narcissistic traits or narcissism, which you would say, they may have certain behaviors, but they vacillate or they change, they change their game as they go. A narcissist, it doesn't matter whether they're rich, they're poor, it doesn't matter their socioeconomic status, it doesn't matter whether they're in the LGBTQ plus community, whether they're heterosexual, it doesn't matter what their race, religion, culture, creed is. There are certain things about them that is very, very similar to each other. And a lot of you, when you talk about it, it almost seems like, hold on, did you know the guy or did you know the girl that I was with? Because you're too exact, because it is a disorder and people are categorized with the symptomology or the traits there are 9 traits, and usually 5 traits. When you find 5 symptoms, 5 traits of that, a professional in that field will diagnose that person with narcissistic personality disorder. Now, keep in mind, there are also tests and measurements that you have to do in order to validate what you think or what you're assuming, in order to rule out. Let me rule this out to make sure this is not what it is, or it could be. So let me do some further investigation. There is some assessments that can be done. However, the average narcissist is not getting ready to come in and get assessed. The average narcissist usually was not going to come into a clinical setting. And if they do, they're trying to dominate, or they're trying to manipulate you, or get you to triangulate with them to basically attack the survivor, or the victim. Now, the topic, oh, I'm sorry, I got to go turn on Clubhouse. But listen, so those of you that are on social media, on the visual one, if you have Clubhouse, you can join me on Clubhouse as well. Because usually I do some teaching, and then what I do is I switch over to Clubhouse for a few minutes to talk to everybody. So I'm not going to be very long. I just want to make this statement because some of you are working in this field. Some of you are going to be mad at me because of the fact that I may be talking about you. You know what? If it's not you, then it's not you. If it's you, then it's you. Just take the information and the revelation and run with it, and just be honest with yourself. The only way that you can heal from this is to be honest with yourself. So those of you that also have Clubhouse, you can join me on Clubhouse. I'm going to start Clubhouse, and you can join me on Clubhouse. Thank you so much. Give me just a minute, get some people in, and then I'll just get to talking. Okay. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm reading some stuff here. Okay, it's going kind of quick. All righty. Well, I got some people in here. Miss Judy and who's this? Miss Judy, Chris, Shirley, Miss Wendy. How are you doing? Hey, Miss Karen, how are you? Well, once again, my name is Dr. Carmen Bryant. I am the host of Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I am a licensed mental health counselor here in the state of Washington. I'm also a certified clinical trauma professional. Even though I have a private practice, like I said, I do see individuals in office. Actually, I do it online. And those that are in the state of Washington, I'm also a coach. And on top of that, I am I love studying about this narcissist abuse because I love giving information out to people. So I'm an educator, and I like to study, and I like to educate the public. So just know that the information that I put out on my videos is for educational purposes only, and you still need to seek mental health care from a licensed professional that can help you. Those of you that are beyond the emotional trauma, you can go find a coach and let that coach work with you. 2 different things, okay? So now I'm getting ready to start. Hey, Miss Katie and Lizzie and Wynn, how are you doing? All right, so let's talk about this topic that I'm talking about. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. Like I said, if the shoe fit, wear it. If it don't cram your foot in it. Those of you, if this applies to you, it does. If it doesn't, just brush it off. Brush it off. And some of you might get offended, but that's okay. First of all, you got to understand, in order to heal from narcissist abuse, first of all, you have to admit that there's a problem, but you also have to admit the way that you're thinking. The average person, and the topic is everybody doesn't want help. We know that. Everybody doesn't want help, right? So the thing about it is, thank you, Power of She. But the thing about it is that there are people that will, for example, want coaching or want therapy from people, and really the whole thing is that they don't want any help. They don't want you to point at their sore spot. When you go to a hospital and there's a problem, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go from, and those of you that are in the nursing field or in the medical field, you know what I'm talking about. They go from the least invasive to the most invasive to figure out what is going on with you. The first thing is you're going to tell them about the symptoms. The next, they're going to start probing. And then when you wince in pain, a lot of times you wince in pain, you don't want anybody to bother that. The next thing they'll probably do is CAT scans, MRIs, x-rays, whatever. And the next thing may be physical therapy, maybe pain management, whatever they have to do as they assess. It may not get better. You come back, the most invasive would be surgery. And in surgery, they're going to cause an injury in order to fix another injury, which is painful. And a lot of people who have been, like, for example, back surgery, they've got these cuts in their back to fix the problem. And then the healing process is even more painful than the actual injury to the back. And some people regret that during their healing process, they regret even getting the surgery because they said that that this is even worse than what I went through, when I was in pain in the first place. Sorry, you guys, let me unplug my cord. But they said that some people that have had back surgery have said that this pain is even worse than the original pain and the original injury. Well, you have to understand, especially in the mental health field, psychology, psychiatry, in the mental health field, it's the exact same way. When you are dealing with people that have been wounded and hurt, some people think that they're little angels and and poor little thing. No, a victim or survivor or a person that is thinking of coming out, the abused sometimes is just as vicious as the abuser. Number one, because of the fact that all this time that they have been in a situationship with this narcissist or this abuser, they had to learn how to manipulate to get their needs met. So they have learned to manipulate from the master manipulator. That's why many people come out of the situation thinking that they may be a narcissist, because a lot of times the behaviors that you're describing on the narcissist, they can turn around and say, you do the exact same thing. And then you feel bad about it. And then you get scared, wondering, oh my God, am I the narcissist? If you get afraid and you get anxious and you're over concerned and you find yourself, oh my God, and you're regretful and you're remorseful, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not a narcissist, because narcissists don't have that type of empathy. They don't have emotional empathy. They have cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy means that they have the ability to understand emotions and how they work. That's why it's easy to manipulate you, because they understand, if I do this, this is going to happen. This and this equals this right here. So they know, and they know the reactions they're going to get from you. But the feeling of, I know what that feels like. I know how painful that must be. I empathize with you. I can only imagine, but I can only imagine how much it hurts to lose your mother, to lose a child. I don't know what it's like, but oh my God, I can only, and it's painful. That doesn't mean you're an empath. That means you have empathy. Okay. Narcissists don't feel that way. You know, so understand that a lot of times when you get people and they call and they want assistance, and this is for some of you guys that are coaches, some of you that are working in this field, even some of you guys that are advocates, not everybody wants help. Some people, and we're just going to go through different examples. Some people that are in the situation want relief. They want relief from the trauma. So they'll come to you, and what they're looking for is how to normalize the situation. They want information on how to fix the narcissist. They want information on how to make it better. Teach me coping skills. Teach me how to manage this. Teach me how not to be, how not to have PTSD. Teach me. Well, as long as the person is in there, for some people, and this is the important thing, it can't be all about the money. If you're concerned about the money that's coming in and you'll just take anybody, you're doing people a disjustice, disjustice. You're actually hurting them, and you're not helping them. You can't let greed overtake you, because you're going to hurt the person more. Because anyone that comes to me and they're still in the situation, my question is what do you want to see happen? Are you trying to get out of the situation? And when I begin to present solutions and have them make phone calls and things like that, if they're not doing that, by the second or third time, I usually say, okay, I need you to contact me when you're ready to leave. You're not ready to leave, and I do not provide any type of services or assistance to help you stay and cope with your violent abuser. I will not help you do that. I can't do that, and I won't do that. And you just call me when you're ready to leave. Another thing that people would do, sometimes they just come to you because they want to vent. They want to get it off their chest. They want to feel better, and that's all they want to do. And so you'll notice week after week after week, they're telling you, oh, and let me tell you what else they did. Oh, and let me tell you this too right here. Oh, let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with telling the story. You got to get it off your chest. You got to tell the story. That if you notice that a person, or it could be you, every time you go and you talk to a coach or you talk to a professional in the mental health field, and you keep on telling the same story week after week after week, that professional needs to stop and say, okay, listen, I'm not being insensitive. And you need some people that are just, military minded like me, but hey, listen, okay, we're running around chasing our tail. Okay, I've gotten a story, and I'm very empathetic to your story. I understand. But what I need to know is where are you trying to go? Because if you keep telling me the story week after week after week, you're not looking for a solution. You're just looking for someone to emotionally throw up on. You're trying to vomit your emotions on. And that's not what I'm here for. You have to be bold enough to say it. Then you have to ask, what is your goal? What are you trying to do? When you hear people say, I'm just trying to get healthy, I'm just trying to get in my right mind, you need therapy. You don't need coaching. You need therapy. And you need to get with a good trauma professional. Or I'm just trying to, okay, you're still in the situation. That's not going to happen. Because it doesn't matter what I teach you, you're still in the situation. So what I need you to do is you call me when you're ready to leave. You call me when you've left. And then we can work together. See, some of you just got to be bold. One thing that a lot of survivors don't like, number one, a lot of them will manipulate you. So if they can't get what they want from you, some of them are very mean, some of them are very manipulative, and some of them are bullies. Some of you are bullies, and the environment that you have been in with this narcissist, they bullied you. You learn how to bully, you learn how to manipulate to get your needs met. So what you do is if you ever want to know what that narcissist is like, just look and see how the victim or the survivor, the victim, or the abused, how they conduct themselves with you. Then you'll have an idea of what goes on in that house because they are a mirror reflection of the abuser. A lot of people come out and they become the mirror of their abuser. They do the things that the abuser do. That's why a lot of times people are confused as to whether or not they're the narcissist or not, because they're doing what the very thing that you hate the most is the very thing that you're doing to survive. And a lot of times, if it's pointed out, you're going to argue because the narcissist always had to point out something negative about you. So when you have a person that's trying to help you and they're showing you your behavior, if they're making you, not making you, they are in a position where they're holding you accountable. They're showing you your behavior. They're telling you, it sounds almost like you're being attacked. And so you go back and you attack the helper. You can't attack the helper. Obviously you have had enough trust in this person to come to them for help. But then what ends up happening is you abuse the help. And I'm just saying you in general, if the shoe fit, put your foot in it, walk with it, accept it. But a lot of times you have to ask yourself a question. If I'm going to ask for help, where am I at? What am I trying to do? And am I just going to call this person, to pay my money to tell the story over and over again? And for some people, that's what they want. They just want to keep on telling their story. They don't want a solution. A lot of people also, when you give them a solution to their problem and you take away the excuses and you take away the justifications, they get angry with you because they have nothing. They have nothing. It's like a victim's mentality. You've taken away the excuses for people to feel sorry for me. Yes, because you want to heal. So we're going to take away those excuses. We're going to ask the question, what are you doing to heal? If you're saying, what am I supposed to do to make myself what am I supposed to do to get healthy? First thing you need to do is find a good therapist. That's why I tell you guys, betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. They give you a 10% discount. They have licensed therapists in your state that will help you. You can ask them questions. Do you understand trauma? Do you understand narcissist abuse? Do you understand complex PTSD? You ask them questions like that. That's the very first thing you want to do. You want to deal with the emotional trauma that you have been through. So when you say, give me some ideas, give me some feedback. Okay. This is a fee for service business, And so you got to understand that when you're reaching out to someone and you're asking for answers, this is fee for service, fee for service. You don't get anything free. These videos are free, but you're not going to get, the videos are not created just, you're getting a lot of information. A lot of you are healing, but this is not where you're just going to get free therapy. You're not going to get free coaching. That's not anybody that you watch online. That's not, they're going to give you the information to let you know that they know what they're talking about. And if you trust them and you watching them and have watched them, then you should go ahead and reach out to them to make an appointment with them. But the biggest thing is when your justifications or your excuses are taken away, like I said, it's not for everybody, but when the excuses are taken away from your client or when the excuses are taken away from you and you have been given solutions to a problem, you've been given resources, and every week you come back, I just haven't reached out. I just haven't made that call. No, I just haven't had the time to do it. You don't really want to get out. You're not ready. You're not ready yet. If you really want to get out of a situation, you're going to get out of a situation. And when people provide you with a solution, resources, and answers to your problem, you're going to jump on it. But if you procrastinate and every time you come back and talk to that coach or you talk to that therapist and they say, did you call this number? I've given you this number. Did you call? Did you ask this question right here? Did you talk to this advocate right here? And you said, no, I just haven't really got to it. And it's 2 or 3 weeks and you still haven't got to it. You don't want help. You don't want help. You just want to complain. You just want to complain. You want somebody to listen to you complain. And so the reason why I brought that topic up, because I need some of you guys to analyze yourself, because you have to be honest with yourself. In AA, the first thing they say is, hi, my name is, and I am an alcoholic. They admit that there's a problem. Can they fix it at that particular time? The first thing that they did is admit to the fact that there was a problem. So some of you have to admit to the fact that there's a problem. And sometimes looking at yourself is almost re-traumatizing, because some of the things that that narcissist said is the same things that you're hearing again. But the thing about it is that look at the situation that you were in, and look at how you had to survive. You had to manipulate. And then you have to be honest with yourself when you manipulate other people. When you manipulate other people to try to force them to do what you want them to do, and they get mad because they won't do it. I'll give you an example. And I said this example before. If you are in therapy and you tell your therapist, I stink and I'm tired of stinking, and the therapist says, well, how often do you take a bath? I don't. Okay, you're going to stink. Do you brush your teeth? I don't. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a wash rag, a washcloth. I'm going to give you a bar of soap. I'm going to give you a towel. You have the shower, you have the bathtub. You got 7 days per week. Let's see, let's pick a middle day of the week, or if you want to start right away, do it right away. Middle day of the week to try to help so you won't stink for the rest of the week. And let's pick one day that you take these tools that I've given you and get in the shower and apply it to yourself. I don't have the energy to do it. If you really want to change, you're going to find the energy to do it. So you got to pick a day, and on that day, you take all that energy that you have and you get in that shower and you wash yourself. The more you do it, the more you're going to want to do it, because you're going to like the feeling. It's going to feel good. That's called behavior activation. You start doing things and activate a behavior. But every week, if you come back and I say, did you take a shower on Wednesday? I didn't have the energy to do it. Okay, let's try it again. I didn't have the energy to do it. You don't want to change. You don't want to change. Stinking, you just don't like for people to call you stinky and funky, and you're tired of the reactions from other people. So you're trying to figure out a way to fix that without actually putting forth the work. So a lot of times, and then they tell you, this is not working for me, so I'm going to find someone else. No, because what they're doing is they're putting their responsibility on you, and then they make you responsible for their change. Well, it is your responsibility to change. If you see people online that resonate with you, that do good work, that you feel positive, that you know they're going to help you, then you have to apply the information that they give you in order to get a result. You have to activate that. If you don't do it, it's not that they're a bad therapist or a bad coach or anything like that. You haven't applied. So if you apply it and it doesn't work, there's a difference. But if you're not applying it, you don't. Most people put it back onto the therapist or the coach. Now they hold you responsible for their change. It's not working because I'm not changing. If you need to go on a diet and you're 1,500 pounds and you need to lose weight, and you keep coming into that professional, and that professional says what you need to do is get yourself a nutritionist. Get yourself a nutritionist. Make sure you go get a total physical to find out if there's any physiological problems, if you have any health issues, high blood pressure, if you need medication, everything. Talk to the get you, just put you in, put you in place. Now, the nutritionist is going to give you a plan. You're going to have to come off of that 18,000 calorie diet that you have and bring it down to how much do you want to weigh? You want to weigh 170 pounds. Okay, you're going to have to only eat 1,700 calories per day, and you need to get yourself active. When you get yourself active, get your heart rate going, because you want to be healthy. By changing those things are going to help you. But then every week when you come, you said it's not working. Well, what are you doing? I'm not losing any weight. I don't know how many of you guys watch my 600-pound life, but Dr. Now said, I've given you tools, but if you don't apply the tools, it's not going to work. And it is your responsibility to lose the weight. And the sad part about it is a lot of times they keep on eating because they've got problems. So he'll connect them to a psychologist so they can get therapy and do an evaluation to find out why they're eating the way that they're eating. And then he gives them a plan. This is the plan. These are the only foods that you need to be eating. You have to show me that you're able to lose this amount of weight before I even give you surgery. Because if you don't change this right here, it's not going to change once you have the surgery. So a lot of times the surgeries are unsuccessful because the person won't stay within the change. They look at the surgery and think the surgery is going to keep me skinny and I can still maintain my lifestyle. I can still eat whatever I want. He won't even give you surgery until you show him that you're able to stick to the plan, the regimen that he's given you. And so for those of you that have come out of these type of situations, the thing about it is that you're having to do a whole mindset. It's a paradigm shift. You have a whole mindset change. You have to see yourself. If you don't ever see yourself getting help, you don't ever see yourself in a happy place. If you don't ever, if you know, a lot of people come in, this doesn't work for me, and this is so horrible, and nothing ever works. And I call, and nobody ever helps me. You need to reassess yourself. You need to reassess yourself. Too many people have gone through this and have recovered from it. So you have to reassess yourself. Everybody I told, when I hear people say every single person I have went through to has not helped me at all. And I ask you how many people you've gone through. I've been to 6 people and they have not helped me. I know that you are the common denominator. You, my dear, is the problem, because you are the common denominator. And so a lot of times you have to, and it's not an easy task for some people, but you have to hold a person accountable. You have to hold them accountable for their recovery, for their change. And so that is all I have about that. Yeah, reconditioning, absolutely. But that is all I have about that. You are so welcome, Brittany. That's all I have about that. So if you guys would like to ask me some questions, I'm going to answer some questions over here on, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on LinkedIn, I am on Twitter, I am on YouTube, and I am on Facebook. I think I said that. So if you would like to ask me some questions, you can ask me some questions. And then for the clubhouse, for my clubhouse friends, my clubhouse people, my friends over here, if you give me just a minute, let me answer some questions over here, and then I'll be over here to answer some questions as well. So if you would like to answer some questions, hey, Deacon Fatal, how are you? If you would like to ask some questions, you are welcome to ask some questions, okay? I'm the realist. I try to be. Thank you so much, Cassidy. I appreciate that. Hey, you know what? When you have lived in a situation where you can't trust the person that you're with, they're liars. You know that they're liars. They're compulsive liars. You know, sometimes hearing the truth makes you feel better. Like finally, somebody's just keeping it real. They're telling the truth. How much rather you keep it real because it shows that you care. Even if I get offended, even if my feelings. Now, there's a difference. Now, y'all, listen. There's a difference. You still have to. You still have to be like in the military. We say you have to be tactful. You just don't purposely try to hurt a person. I'm just keeping it real. No, sometimes keeping it real goes wrong. And so, but you want to keep it real. You want to be honest with a person. People, even though they get upset, maybe they stop talking to you, but they'll have more appreciation. They have more respect for you when you're honest and you're just keep it real with them. You be honest with them. And don't beat around the bush. No matter how much, whether the person leaves and they don't get services from you or they mad at you. I mean, I've had people to leave. Hey, Danielle, sis. But I've had people to leave my YouTube channel and come back a year later and tell me that they were mad. I didn't even know they were mad. And told me they were angry with me because of what I was saying, but they realized that I was being honest. I was being, and they appreciated me being honest. So you guys have to be honest without killing somebody. Now, you guys don't just tear a person up. Some of you guys has been through this. Don't just, say whatever you want to say because I'm keeping it real. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes keeping it real goes wrong. So be careful, okay? Be careful. Deacon said, I'm tired, but it's not from the narc. Thank God. Good. Barb Weiss, hey there, you're welcome. So let's see. I am he a king. Well, hey there, he a king. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, thank you, Ms. Lisa. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do I have any questions? All right, y'all. If y'all ain't got no questions, I'm gonna click over. And you guys know, as soon as I try to click over, you guys start asking like 80 questions at a time. So if you got any questions, y'all ask me some questions. Because some of your questions may be a question that someone over at Clubhouse has. So if I answer that question, it might be something that somebody was afraid to ask, and you're asking the question. So is it Elio Sherry? I don't want to mess it up. Welcome. How are you doing? All right, y'all. Well, I don't have anybody asking any questions. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna go over here to Clubhouse. Thank you so much, Dorothy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Did this help you guys tonight? Did this help you guys? Hopefully it helped you guys, but especially for some of you guys that are going into this type of work. You just have to have thick skin and just be prepared, as sometimes the abused become the abusers, and it is a survival tactic. Brittany said, "How to build back my confidence after being destroyed for so many years. First thing you need to do is you need to get into therapy. That's the first thing you need to do. How does someone become a narcissist? April, girl, that's a whole nother video. How does someone become a narcissist? It starts in childhood. Usually, I was doing a study last night, and it was same thing that I say all the time. You know, normally something has happened, something traumatizing, or something has happened in the developmental years of a child from zero to I can't think what they said in the study, but something has happened within the developmental years for a child that causes their personality is almost like this to I want to say misfire, it's not misfire, but what happens is that personality it becomes dysfunctional. So they live dysfunctional, protecting themselves, protecting their protecting themselves. There's almost like an autoimmune disorder that attacks the body. Everything with a narcissist turns in to protect them, and they reach out to try to get what's called fuel, but usually something has happened within those developmental years that has caused that personality to develop dysfunctionally. But I do have a video on that as well. I do. Well, yeah, Haka, thank you so much. Short circuit. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions, you guys don't have any more questions. Hi from Iowa. Hi, Antoinette. How are you? Well, if you guys don't have any questions, that's all I have for this evening. Hopefully that helped y'all. Thank you so much for being here. These lights are hot. So you'll talk to your therapist about this because I'm angry at him, angry at the therapist. Don't be afraid. Listen, one size don't fit all. One size does not fit all. You can't concern yourself on whether you're gonna. Now it's different. Be respectful. Be respectful. Do it the right way, and just let the therapist know. Listen, I don't think we're fit. Or I don't think. I'm thinking. I mean, I've had people tell me, I don't think you get me. You don't understand me, and they're accustomed to manipulating. They want something from me, and I refuse to allow a client or a coaching client, I refuse to allow them to dictate my narrative or to tell me what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it. And so, because of the fact that I may not want to do that, not may not want, but I will not do that, what happens is they call me abusive. They've called me abusive. They told me that I'm hard to work with. They've told me that you just don't understand me. And you got to think about it. You have to be compassionate enough to understand, what, this is a person that has been traumatized and this is how they think. Until they change the way that they think, everybody that they cannot manipulate or have boundaries are the abusers. So you got to remember that. So those of you that want to go in the field, you got to understand what you're going to run into. What you're going to run into, and a lot of times the abused abuse, and the abused will abuse the help. A lot of them will do it. So not all therapists, exactly. Some of them don't, and we have what's called continuing education. Every mental health professional, even medical professionals that are licensed, to include lawyers, are required, depending on their license, whether every year or every 2 years, to get continuing education to keep them abreast on in their field. And so Dr. Romani actually was the lead on training. It was some training that was provided through what's called PESI. PESI is like one of the major, well-known, I want to say association that provides continuing education to social workers, mental health providers, psychologists, psychiatrists, psychologists. And They did a training, basically a course, well, not a course, training, specifically targeting, and they actually used the term narcissist, finally used the term narcissist, the narcissist or narcissist. But they did one on gaslighting. They talked about the narcissist, narcissist abuse. And so the training is there. The training is there. If they need more training, it is there. So there's not an excuse anymore. So therapists that don't understand need, one of the requirements is we don't understand something. We need to go and we need to learn or get some supervision to learn about that thing, about what it is that we don't know, to get some supervision, to get some training to help us to understand what we don't know. Now, you have to understand that not everybody wants to do trauma. That is hard. That is very hard to deal with trauma on a daily basis. They have what's called vicarious trauma, secondary trauma from listening to trauma stories all day, every day. They do have that. They have burnout. Therapy or in the helping field, you have burnout, compassion fatigue. Because and so some people don't understand that. All of a sudden they may leave the field altogether because they're tired. They're mentally tired from helping people all the time that have been traumatized, and to be read that, a lot of them are traumatized through the stories that they're listening to, you know. KY said, Dr. Brian, I'm a coach, and I heard you mention something about your workbook that coaches can get and teach clients. No, I didn't say that. What I was saying was is that I am in the process of creating coursework. One of the things that I'm doing is coursework. Number one, for academic on the academic level, and then number two, coursework for those that want the information. I'm thinking about is going to be about 18 weeks. But I'm also creating a coaching program to teach coaching and then to specialize in narcissist abuse recovery and to give a foundation about. So you probably, if you're a certified coach, you probably don't need certification. So my whole thing is to certify coaches and to give them, if your niche is wanting to provide, services to those that are overcoming or are going or coming out of narcissist abuse, so that you have a good foundation, research information, so that when you're giving information out, it's not just something you read on Google, it's not just something that you heard or just experienced, but that you're able to provide them with research information, and you understand what narcissist abuse is and what they do. And so that also is, I'm writing the book that goes along with that program, and some workbooks that go along with that. So that when you create your own program, you'll be able to teach your clients as well. So that's something that I am working on at this particular time. I am working on it. So thank you for inquiring. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I will let you guys know when I'm finished and it's up and running. Okay. So it takes a little while to do it all, especially when you're doing research. Um, Carmelin said, asked, in your years of experience, have you ever seen a victim stay indefinitely in a relationship with a narcissist? Yes. Yep, I have. A lot of people don't. Thank you so much, KYS, for inquiring, and I'll make sure I will put that information out when I'm actually finished. So you guys, those of you that pray, keep me in your prayers. Because it's a lot of work that goes behind it, and I want to make sure that I provide quality information. Like I said before, right now it is an unregulated field. But I can already see, and a lot of other coaches have said the same thing, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be a regulated field, where you're going to be required to have a certification and training, because people call themselves coaches. They don't have any training. They just call themselves a coach. And they come on and they talk, but a lot of stuff that they're talking about is based off of their own opinions, not research, not, or I heard this person say, or I read this on Google, whatever. So the program that I'm creating, I want to make sure that you guys are well trained. So you guys just give me some time to put that together. It takes a little time to do a lot of research. But Carmelin, yes, I've seen people stay indefinitely. Not everybody wants to leave, even though they know that they're being abused and they're miserable. Those are some of the ones that I talk about. They come and they want you to help them cope, help them to get over PTSD. But how can you do that if you're in the midst of it? I can't help you overcome cocaine, marijuana, and things like that if you're actively doing it. You have to stop, and then we can teach you some coping skills. So if you're a drug abuser or substance abuser, you can't help a person cope with the addiction while they're still actively addicted. You know what I mean? Hey, Creative Family Care, how are you? So let's see. Okay. I'm working on those coaching courses. So when they are available, I will let you guys know. And the way that I'm doing the program is, if you are already a certified coach, then you can, then I will be providing, if you want your niche to be in narcissist abuse recovery, to give you a foundation about what narcissistic personality disorder is, so that you can apply your niche to your coaching. And if you're not certified, my goal is to be able to certify you to be a certified coach. So it is a legitimate business that you have. Not saying that it's not already, because not every coach is certified. I had a certification. I let it go because of the fact that the license that I have, I'm not dominated, but it far preceded a coaching certificate, because I'm already licensed in the state. So it wasn't really worth my time. A lot of the coaching that I did was right in the military. I did it as a career. We coached. At the time we called it professional counseling, but really what we were doing, we were coaching. This is something that we did all the time. You know, we coached all the time. It was something I was accustomed to. I know how to do it. And it's kind of cool when you've been doing it all along, and all of a sudden it becomes a career field. Like, oh, I've done this all my life, and I never knew I was doing it. Not all my life, but all my military career. Absolutely, KYS. As soon as I'm done and I put it out there, I'm going to advertise for it. So I would definitely let you know. Just keep watching it, and I will post it on all my channels when I'm done. It's just taking me a little time because I'm research. I have to do the research that goes along with it. But thank you so much. I'm so honored. Thank you. Uh, let's see. She said, absolutely. I asked because my children's father's wife becomes a narcissist when she is with him. One moment she's trying to form an alliance with me. The next moment I have a second narcissist. It's probably not that she's becoming a narcissist. What it is she's just adapting his behavior. So she's conformed to his behavior in order to be accepted by him. So, those people that are in situation like that, they will adapt to the behavior of the narcissist, which is unacceptable, in order to be accepted by the narcissist. And then they wonder if they're narcissists, and really they've just adapted. They're mirroring the narcissist. So see, the supply can mirror the narcissist as well. Narcissist is not the only one that mirrors people, but the supply one will mirror the narcissist. Um, I just want to be able to help. Been doing music therapy all my life, and now it is a field. Okay, I see you. Okay, that'd be great. And some people would really, really love it. Because some people just love music. It's therapeutic to them. That would be great. And I'm wishing you well. Um, Mariposa said, "Thank you, Dr. Bryant. It is very true that you can't heal in the environment you were sick." In the environment you were sick, and the therapist only help if you apply the knowledge. We have to be willing to move forward and change. There you go, towards change. There you go. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so listen, I'm going to go over here to Clubhouse, and I'm going to talk to my guests for a few minutes, so I can get off, because I'm getting sleepy. So I already know if I open up the laptop and start typing, I'm gonna fall asleep while I'm typing. But tomorrow's Memorial Day, so I'll get up, and I love researching. I just want you guys to know I love researching. So I'm researching uh, journals and psychological and psychiatry journals to get you this information. So it is going to be valuable information. It's going to be top notch information for you. So at least one thing that you can say, is that yes, they may not teach this to coaches, but the program that I am creating, if this is the niche that you want, at least get a good foundation of understanding what narcissistic personality disorder is. And I'm going to certify the program so that you guys will have your niche, but you have a certification that you went through. And I want to say it's 18 weeks. I think it's like an 18-week course that you went through this course, and that you have the basic knowledge that you need to have concerning this disorder, their behaviors, their conduct. And when you say this to people, you already know that a lot of people will argue with you. No, and then you can actually say, no, research said, matter of fact, right here in my notes, this person who is a researcher, a psychologist, psychiatrist, pediatric, whatever, their research said, and this is what the research says. So you'll have the information. And the thing about it is it provides you with, it makes you, what's the word I'm looking for? Not valid, but it makes you, what's the word I'm looking for? not just a professional, but when you provide information that is research, it makes you not believable. Y'all help me out. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not believable, but it's come on, y'all, help me out with the word. I'm looking for the word. You guys are people of many words. Credible. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, competent and credible. Absolutely. It makes you credible because you're not just throwing information out there and people ask you, where did you get that from? And you just coming up with answers. I just know for a fact. Nobody wants to hear that. And then, when you're dealing with people, especially people of high stature, there are a lot of people, if you're teaching this kind of stuff, you'd be surprised at the different type of people that are listening to you talk. And when you have people credible, thank you. When you have people on here that are listening to you talk, you got lawyers, you got doctors, you have psychologists, you have psychiatrists, you have people in the professional nurses. So when you're talking to these individuals, you can't just assume that the information that you are giving out is credible. That's exactly, you got to make sure when you're talking to people like that or people like mental health professionals, that when you say something, make sure you know what you're talking about or you're going to lose respect, especially from the field that they work in already, and the amount of time, energy, and money that they've invested in getting their degrees. And then you have someone that learned about it 2 days ago, and they're giving information and looking at you like this is, and people believe in you. And when people are hurting and they're desperate for information, they'll believe you. They'll just believe anything that you say because they're hurting. They just want to believe someone. So at least make sure that when you give this information out, it's information that you know is research and is good information. Do your research. And when I say do your research, that doesn't mean Google everything, because Google sometimes is wrong too. Sometimes Google is an opinion of people, unless you can find the journals and the articles that support that medically, psychologically. The DSM-5 was created by the people that put the research in is pediatricians, psychiatrists, psychologists. What was the other one? Uh, I can't think of the other names. There were several different fields that contributed to giving this information out. Primary care providers, to give the research and give this information out. So I want to make sure that you guys are credible. I want to make sure that when you say something, that people will listen to you and they know that you are a credible source of information, and that you can quote the information, and that you know what you're talking about. That's my whole goal, to make sure you guys know what you're talking about and that you stand out, according to a lot of other coaches that are out there. If that's something that you want to do, it's a field you want to work in, to make sure that you stand out from the crowd, that they know that your information, the certification that you got, comes from a credible source itself. So you're a neurologist, absolutely, Lisa. Neurologists, they have all sorts of people that have created this to give you information. I want you guys to have that information. So I'm not the type of person that hogs information, but I'm also not the type of person that's going to hook you up and give you just enough information where you can get sued because you're still not a therapist. Remember that some of you guys are not therapists. Some of you guys are not psychiatrists and doctors. So you can't use that information. And a lot of that information is for education purposes only. Coaching is very different than therapy. And a lot of people are crossing boundaries and can get sued, especially you don't have no malpractice insurance. You don't belong to no association that gives you ethical standards to follow by. Those people that are a part of the American Psychiatric Association, the American Psychological Association. I'm a member of the American Mental Health Counselors Association. You have I think it's the American Marriage and Family Therapy Association. I think that's correct. So they have all these different associated, the American Social Work Association, whatever it is. But all of these require their members to follow strict ethical codes, code of conduct, and codes, to maintain their professional and to keep themselves from being sued and to prevent them from injuring other people. And so if we have to follow these to prevent ourselves and have malpractice insurance, you have people out there that are coaches that are just doing anything. And that's another thing. They do have malpractice insurance for coaches, which you need to make sure, that you are a credible coach and that you stay within the limits of your profession. You can't just go out there talking. You cannot be no expert witness. You cannot be an expert witness, but that you have insurance as well. That'll be a part of the program, so you'll know where you can get insurance from to protect yourself, because now you're becoming a professional in this field and you have to know what your limitations are. And then you have to remember at the same time, um, uh, that you are protecting yourself and protecting your business, and that you don't step over the lines to get yourself sued. The psychiatrists accept the NPD is real. Yeah, yeah, they do. Thank you so much, Deacon Fatal. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me switch over here to coaching. I'm not coaching. I was reading somebody's comment. Let me switch over here to Clubhouse. Um, Coaching Spirit says, Dr. Brian, I work alongside doctors who are narcissists themselves. It's absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people that are, believe it or not, a lot of people that are in the medical field have this God complex, and a lot of them are narcissists. Absolutely. Yeah. And then some of your best lawyers are narcissists because they come up against a narcissist. That narcissist ain't trying to lose in court. So some of the best lawyers are narcissists. That don't mean you have to get into a relationship with them. Doesn't mean you have to fall in love with them. You use them for what they need to be used for. Legal. That's it. So listen, I'm going to come over here to Clubhouse. If you guys would like to come over here to Clubhouse with me, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting me this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys make it fun. You guys challenge me. If I don't know something, I go research it so I can give you the best information that I can. Listen, I have a conference coming up July 30th. I'm going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. Listen, I need to see y'all out there. I need to meet some of you guys. I want to see your faces. I want to shake your hand. I want to give you hugs. I want to talk to you guys. I want to see you eat. I want to see you laugh. I'm the type of person wherever I go, Danielle, just be real. They know, I like to laugh. Even in giving information is very intense. I like to laugh and see you smile. And I'm telling you, this is one of the best investments that you can have. Every year, I'm going to be in a different city. This year, I'm going to be in Atlanta. Last year, I was in Dallas. But I really want you guys to come out to Atlanta, Georgia. I have a site, overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. You can purchase your ticket on there. VIP is sold out, so general admissions and Zoom is still available. If you can't come out, just go on Zoom and join us. We're going to be there from 8 a.m. in the morning till 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm going to be there. My good friend Bridget Griffin, who is a domestic violence advocate. Some of you guys saw her last year on Zoom. My big brother Marcus Monroe. If you guys listen to Apostle Sadler's Clubhouse on Mondays, he talks about the law of mentality. He used to belong to that group. He used to belong to that group of high value men. And he breaks it down to let you know exactly what it is and to protect you. This year's theme is training your terrorists. That he's going to, especially for the ladies, he's going to break that down, what this group is, what they do, how they do what they do, how these people look like they're wealthy and they're really not. What this is, this brotherhood, and what they do and how to protect yourself, ladies, so that you don't, sometimes you don't even know who you're talking to or looking at, but he's going to break it down for you. Then my big sister, Kathy Gibson, My Life is Intentional. She's off the chain, not because she's my sister, well, because she's my sister too, but not just because she's my sister, but she's dynamic. She's a powerful woman. And she really makes you feel good about yourself. She make you want to walk out, and you could be a Caucasian, walk out and just throw your little fist up, put your pig fist up, but she makes you feel, not just feel good about yourself. She makes you feel empowered. She talks to you, your value, your worth, and makes you feel empowered. When you leave out of there, it's just wow. Makes you really think about yourself and how much you are worth and how you need to invest in yourself. And then, of course, one and only, our mother, which is Apostle Helen Sadler. Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, is going to be there. If you enjoy Telsha Edenberg, Telsha with the T on MPD, she's going to be there for the table talk. Those of you that have heard Tasha Lilleman, Confessions of a Christian Girl, she's going to be there for the table talk. Some of you guys know Dr. Gerald Hightower. He's going to be visiting. He's going to be in the audience with us. So those of you that can make it out there, listen, VIP is closed, so you guys won't be getting a limo ride to, privately entangling with us and getting to talk to a lot of us speakers. That is a limo ride to the restaurant. You get to enjoy fine dining with us in your formal and semi-formal clothes, honey. You're going to be bougie. And then those of you that is closed, but general admission is still open, and online registration for Zoom is still available. And you will be there the entire time. Even on Zoom, you'll be there the entire time to see the event. So thank you, Marvelous One. I sure appreciate you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for you guys. Listen, I'm telling you, go register. You don't want to miss it. And then it's at the beautiful Marriott marquee on Peachtree Center Avenue. Now, this is a ticket event, so if you show up, just be real, be sitting outside the door, and she gonna shake her head like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because once we got the head count, we can't accept anymore. And some of you guys, if you can't pay for it up front, email me, Dr. Carmen Bryant at outlook.com, and I will send you an invoice, and you'll have up until like the second week of July to pay that, and then come see me. And then also you get a discount at the hotel. So you get a discount for the room there. Another thing that I'm trying to put in place is church service on Sunday. So I will give you guys that information when I get that information. Church service on Sunday with Apostle Helen Sadler. You guys will get to meet her, and you get to be in service with her. So just give me a minute. Let me put that together. And I thank you guys so much for being here. Listen, I need to see you guys out there in Atlanta. Please come out there. Yeah, we're going to be bougie. So please come on out there. I am looking forward to meeting you guys. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Everyone has been out there said it was well worth the money that they spent to come out there. And listen, come out there. We're going to give you breakfast. We're going to give you lunch. We're going to take care of you. We're going to love on you. We're going to take care of you, okay? And I want to meet you guys. Bring your book, sign your book. Come on out there so we can meet you. So listen, I'm ready to come over here to Clubhouse so I can talk to some of my guests over here. Um, uh, Hold on, I'm reading the comments down here already. So you guys come on over here to Clubhouse, okay? And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you this week on TikTok, and I'll post it everywhere. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day. Remember, you guys see it on Facebook a lot. Armed Forces Days for those soldiers that are currently, or those service members that are currently serving. Veteran Day for those service members who have retired or have taken and hung up their uniform. Memorial Day is to memorialize those that gave all, those that never came out of their uniform, those that died in uniform. So you guys make sure you know the difference, but enjoy your Memorial holiday, and thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good night, everybody. Good night, Instagram. And good night, everybody. You guys have a wonderful evening, okay?